Greetings fellow Whovians and welcome to Timey Wimey Review, where today I review the full 10-part audio podcast drama that was Doctor Who Redacted, which started back in April of this year and has just finished recently, just over a week ago, on BBC Sounds. Just in case you don't know the plot, a trio of women host a podcast called The Blue Box Files, which talk about all the conspiracies surrounding weird random events that happen around the world, surrounded by a mysterious person with a blue police box. However, these people start to disappear. Not only mysteriously disappear, but they start to be forgotten about as if they've never existed in the first place. Now it's a race against time for this unlikely trio to rescue all these people that have disappeared with a little help from a mysterious person known as the Doctor. So our three main leads for this audio podcast drama is Charlie Craggs, who plays Chloe Proctor, Holly Quinn Ancra, who plays Shauna Thompson, and Lois Chimimba as Abby McPhail. All three women did a really good job for this podcast audio adventure, but the main lead for this one, and who kind of took more sort of centre stage in terms of storytelling, is Charlie Craggs as Chloe Proctor. Now, if you don't know who Charlie is, she's a transgender actress, and this is her debut acting role. For this show. You might have seen her on various YouTube videos and different social media platforms for her story being a transgender person, actress. And and this story kind of mimics that a little bit more as well. So Chloe, she lives with her brother after she was kicked out by her mum at the age of 16. By the way, I'm going to keep this spoiler free, so I'm only just going to go through what's already been sort of mentioned. Now, when this news broke out, actually surprisingly announced by the BBC that they were going to do this podcast audio adventure featuring three queer women, I know that quite a lot of people, and I'm expecting a comment somewhere below from Michael to say RIP Doctor Who 2017, 1963 to 2017. So yeah, being a bit skeptical, and obviously all the agenda that was going to be at play. Me personally, I didn't feel this from this audio adventure at all. Yes, obviously there was talking about their sexuality, and there's sort of themes running along that line in this podcast. But to be honest, I thought that was more the background. It was more subtly done, and we still had a Doctor Who style adventure, which I really enjoyed. I also like that this audio adventure was surrounding itself with Doctor Who lore, particularly quite a lot from 2005 onwards. I think there was a few from the classic era of Doctor Who that was kind of thrown in there, but there was a lot more that I felt from the modern era of Doctor Who. So, for example, the Powell Estates was mentioned. We have lots of cameos from various characters, such as Kate Stewart, Osgood, Madame Vestra, and Brownie as well from the Sarah Jane Adventures. She had a nice little cameo appearance in here too. So it was really nice to hear these characters back as well, and it didn't sort of take away anything from the story either. It was just nice that they were mentioned and be part of this mysterious surrounding of disappearance, all connected to the Doctor. And speaking of the Doctor, the 13th Doctor, Jodie Whittaker, also makes her appearance in this podcast, mainly towards the end of the podcast from sort of chapter 10, but you do hear a voice throughout the episode segments. And this was I'm pretty sure this was done after Jodie is wrapped up from the centenary special that we're going to be getting later this year. So again, it was good to hear Jodie coming back and at least being portrayed from a different writer, really. It didn't have that much. It was mainly Chris Chibnall writing this. And again, Jodie did a really good job, as always. And yeah, if anything, was that extra push for her to come onto Big Finish Audios. I'm sure she will be making her debut on Big Finish Audio some point along the line. I'm sure she's going to take a bit of a break from being the 13th Doctor. Can't blame her, to be fair. But I'm sure we're going to be hearing her through Big Finish Audios. And I would love to sort of have someone else have a take on this Doctor, and obviously Jodie having her sort of input in there, and just really see what we can get out of the 13th Doctor. I also have to give props to the sound design by David Thomas and Ali Agrington. I hope I got that name right. Because it did sound great, you know, with all the sound effects that there was giving for Doctor Who, as well as all the outdoors real life sort of sound effects. Yeah, you did feel immersed in this story. You can easily close your eyes, picture these characters, picture these scenes, and be immersed in that journey. I wouldn't have expected anything less from BBC Sounds, really, with the budget that they have. Again, comparing it to Big Finish Audios, they really do a great job in the sound designs for all their stories. So I was expecting some good things here, and I certainly wasn't disappointed. I am going to give Doctor Who Redacted a TARDIS rating of 7 out of 10. I'm keeping this spoiler free as best as I can, but overall I did enjoy the adventure. It was just a nice, easy adventure to follow and just to listen to. And for me personally, what I wanted from this podcast was to carry on spurring me and at least a lot of fellow Whovians to check out the Big Finish audio adventures as well, because I've always been saying that I want to listen to some more. I've got quite a few to check out, and yeah, and I hope that's the same for other people. I want them to sort of listen to this and go, oh wow, that's really good, and check out some other sort of podcasts, whether it's through BBC Sounds or other media platforms, but also just to check out Big Finish Audio as well, and just have a good time with. They've done a really good job of the classic era of Doctor Who. Like I said, the Colin Baker era is absolutely sublime. But also they've had lots of modern era Doctors making appearances. David Tennant has done some. Christopher Eccleston's just done quite a few from this year onwards. And can't wait for Jodie to join that Big Finish audio train, as it were. But importantly, also, I really enjoyed Charlie Craggs as Chloe Proctor. I thought she did a really good acting debut. I'm sure she'll go on to be bigger and better in whatever sort of form media that she wants to do, or whatever sort of career that she wants to pursue. I also thought that Gina Dawson did a really good good storytelling here. It felt to me very much like the Russell T Davies era of Doctor Who in style of writing, and going back to the Doctor Who lore. And obviously, this is to celebrate the LGBT community, the trans community as well. And again, this was done in a nice, subtle way. For me personally, I didn't feel like it was overbearing. I didn't feel personally attacked as a straight 30-year-old plus something. And, I came here wanting to listen to a Doctor Who podcast adventure, and I got that. And with the added bonus of the inclusivity for the LGBTQ community, it was done in a very subtle way. If anything, I felt that this story did a better job, if you compare it to my Idiot's Lantern review, of the family dynamics and what I mentioned towards the end of that episode, and how that wasn't handled very well. I thought that the family dynamics in this story, with Chloe being kicked out of the family home at the age of 16 and resolving that conflict, was done better here. I do recommend that you check out this 10-part podcast drama as part of Pride Month, and also as a fan of Doctor Who, because I think you are going to have a good time. It's on BBC Sounds as we speak. That's going to be on in the UK. I'm not sure how you're going to get BBC Sounds throughout the rest of Europe and around the world, but there are ways and means. Let me know in the comments below your thoughts to Doctor Who Redacted. Did you enjoy this 10-part podcast adventure? And has it encouraged you to listen to more Doctor Who audio adventures? Next time on Timey Wimey Review, I'll be reviewing a classic Doctor Who story from the 4th era of Doctor Who that I've never watched before, called Underworld. But until then, thank you very much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this review. Please like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel, say hello on my Twitter page at ReviewTimey, and hit that cloister bell for more notifications. But as a good doctor once said, a plan is like a tea bag. Sometimes you need it to be in hot water before the magic happens.